Why are students ditching Harvard and other Ivy League schools for Southern colleges? Is it because the Ivy Leagues are too expensive? Or do they simply prefer the Southern weather? Stick around to find out the surprising reasons behind this trend. Welcome back to Veritologic. For those of you who are new here, I'm Sam, your host for YouTube Talks. I'm currently pursuing a PhD in economics, and yes, I've survived not just one, but 2 business schools. Love economics? Love business? Well, you're in the right spot. So smash that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, and let's start gaining a closer look. Today we're exploring a fascinating shift in college choices. More and more high school seniors from the North are choosing universities in the South. This trend is not just about fun and football. It's also about saving money and finding a sense of community. According to an article by Douglas Belkin and Andrea Fuller, published in the Wall Street Journal on September 27, 2024, there's a growing trend of Northern students heading to Southern schools like Clemson, Georgia Tech, and Ole Miss. These students are drawn by the vibrant social scenes that they see on social media, lower tuition costs, and of course, warmer weather. Parents are also on board because it means less student debt. College counselors note that many teens are looking to escape these political tensions of the northern campuses for the community spirit found in the South, especially during the football season. Plus, the job prospects after graduation are pretty appealing too. Choosing a college in the South can have significant financial benefits. Lower tuition costs means less student debt, which can positively impact your financial future. According to a study done by St. Louis Fed, the return on investing in a college education can range anywhere from 13.5% to 35.9%, of course, depending on various factors. This means that the money saved on tuition can be invested elsewhere, potentially yielding higher returns over time. Additionally, the lower cost of living in many southern states can further stretch your dollars. However, it's important to note that Ivy League schools also offer substantial financial aid packages. For the academic year 2022 to 2023, Ivy League schools awarded grant aid to 35,592 undergraduate students, with an average grant amount of $54,802. This financial aid can significantly reduce the net cost of attending these prestigious institutions. In fact, the average annual cost to attend an Ivy League school after financial aid, or the net price, is $23,234. In comparison, the net price for ranked non-Ivy League schools was more than $32,000. Additionally, about 19% of Ivy League students receive federal Pell Grants, which further helps to offset tuition costs. The influx of students to Southern colleges is set to boost the region's economy for years to come. According to a study by researchers at the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, about 2/3 of college graduates end up working in the state where they graduate. This means that these well-educated, motivated young workers are contributing to the local economy at the start of their careers, when they are least expensive to employ. Over their lifetimes, college graduates contribute significantly more to local economies compared to those with only a high school diploma. For instance, the average bachelor's degree holder will spend $278,000 more on local goods and services and pay $44,000 more in state and local taxes. For most of American history, high school seniors have aspired to attend colleges in the Northeast, home to the Ivy League, while Southern academic powerhouses like Duke, Tulane, Emory, and Vanderbilt have always attracted students from the North. The recent surge in interest is largely driven by public universities. Although more students apply to Ivy League schools now than in 2002, Southern public universities like Clemson and Georgia Tech have seen even greater spikes in their applications. For example, applications to the University of Alabama have increased by over 600% during this period, which is about 3 times the increase seen at Harvard. The number of Northerners attending Southern public schools has increased by 84% over the past 2 decades and jumped 30% from 2018 to 2022. For example, the University of Tennessee in Knoxville saw its freshman class from the Northeast grow from around 50 in 2002 to nearly 600 in 2022. Likewise, the University of Mississippi and the University of Alabama have seen significant increases in Northern students too. The Southern college experience is about more than just academics. It's a lifestyle. Take Mitch Savili, for example. He drove 15 hours from Long Island to Atlanta for his freshman year at Georgia Tech. A few weeks in, he realized how different his new surroundings were when multiple people complimented him for carrying flowers to a fraternity event, something he said would never happen in New York. Students like Alicia, a junior at the University of South Carolina, also noticed the cultural differences. She mentions needing about 2 weeks to adjust to the slower pace of life every time she returns from New York. She says in the South, interactions are more personal, and if you don't learn something about the cashier at the grocery store, then you're doing it wrong. Football is a huge part of Southern college life. Alicia notes that everything shuts down in Columbia on game days. This vibrant football culture is a significant draw for many students. During the pandemic, while northeastern states were locked down, students saw Southern schools on social media enjoying football games and sorority events. This contrast in lifestyle drove many people to apply to Southern universities. The pandemic accelerated this trend. Students stuck at home in the Northeast saw life continuing on in the South with fewer restrictions and more social activities. Mitch's decision to attend Georgia Tech was influenced by his brother's negative experiences with lockdowns and online classes in upstate New York. The freedom and active campus life in the South were very appealing. Schools like LSU and South Carolina have seen a surge in applications from Northern students. For instance, application from Mitch's school district, the one on Long Island, to Southern universities have tripled since before the pandemic. Mitch chose Georgia Tech over schools like MIT and Tufts because of the lower cost and strong engineering program that they offered. His decision was sealed after visiting the campus and seeing the vibrant student life. For out-of-state students, Southern schools offer a financial advantage. According to data from around 100 of the nation's top public research universities, Southern schools charged a median of $29,000 in tuition and fees just last year. This is the lowest among top public colleges in any region. Scholarships also can make these costs even more affordable. Alicia, a Long Island native, initially aimed to attend Syracuse University for its renowned communications program. Despite receiving a $15,000 merit scholarship, her out-of-pocket expenses would have still been around $65,000. She applied to the University of South Carolina just as an afterthought. However, after being admitted to the honors program and receiving a scholarship, she had realized it would cost her about half as much as Syracuse and offer more in-person classes. This decision led to a trend, with around a dozen students from her private Catholic school following her to South Carolina the next year. The University of South Carolina and Clemson University have become magnets for Northern students. In 2022, both schools enrolled hundreds of freshmen from the Northeast. At USC, this represented a 659% increase over 20 years, while Clemson saw a 456% spike over the same period. South Carolina public universities have become the second most popular out-of-state destinations for public college-bound freshmen from New York after Pennsylvania. Southern college campuses are known for their vibrant Greek life and football culture, which are heavily documented on social media platforms such as Instagram and TikTok. Searching #RushTalk gives a glimpse into the lively fraternity and sorority lifestyle. Every Saturday, thousands of students attend tailgate parties and football games across the South. The popularity of shows like Bama Rush, which chronicles sorority rush at the University of Alabama, highlights this culture. In contrast, many Northern students have been depicted in the news as being beset by protests. This stark difference is one reason why the flow of Northerners heading south could continue in the coming years, according to college counselors. Students moving to the South for college tend to pay less attention to politics compared to those in the Northeast. Colby College sociology professor Neil Gross notes that some students prefer an environment where they can focus on things other than politics. Southern schools generally have better track records on free speech, according to rankings by the Foundation for Individual Rights and Expression, also known as FIRE. This year, most of the top 25 schools for free speech are all located in the South, while 6 schools with the worst ratings are in the Northeast. Following students' protests over various issues, some Jewish and Southeast Asian students have become more cautious about applying to these highly selective schools in the Northeast, expanding their search to other regions. At Coastal Carolina University in Conway, South Carolina, more than 1,000 freshmen came from the Northeast in 2022, making up 41% of the class. This is a significant increase from 26% just 4 years prior. The university has focused its recruiting efforts along the I-95 corridor, reaching as far as North Boston. During winter, the school sends marketing emails featuring sunny campus photos to prospective students in the Northeast. Sometimes students from New York or New England discover Coastal Carolina while on family vacations to nearby Myrtle Beach. On cloudy or rainy days, families often visit the campus out of curiosity. They learn about the large number of Northern students in the business program and the lower costs compared to their home state's public flagship universities. This often leads to a realization that living in South Carolina could be more affordable, especially if a parent works remotely. This phenomenon, where families relocate after a student enrolls, is known as trailing families. The Southern enrollment surge is happening in regions with booming economies. According to a recent study by ADP, the top 5 most promising locations for new college graduates to find work are all in the South. Growing universities create a snowball effect for local and regional economies, especially research universities. More graduates mean more customers for local businesses and support for graduate programs that bring in research grants. This grant money is often spent locally, generating new knowledge, patents, and startups that hire people and attract high-paying employers to the region. However, this isn't without its challenges. In the short term, the influx of students can create challenges in terms of infrastructure. Universities like the University of Mississippi are currently grappling with how to accommodate this growth. Northern students are increasingly choosing Southern colleges for their lower tuition costs, vibrant campus life, and sense of community. This trend is boosting local economies and creating job opportunities in the South. However, we must remember that Ivy League schools also offer substantial financial aid packages, prestigious academic programs, and strong alumni networks, which can provide significant long-term benefits. As we've seen, both Southern colleges and Ivy League colleges offer unique advantages. Southern colleges can provide financial savings and a lively campus experience, while Ivy League schools offer prestigious programs and extensive support networks. When considering your college options, it's really important to weigh those factors and choose the environment that best supports your academic and personal growth. Thank you for making it to the end of this video, and if you found this video helpful, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to Veritologic for more insights on topics like economics, business, and finance, because knowledge is power. Please don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss any of these updates. Also, please share your comments below. Are you considering a Southern school or an Ivy League school? And please tell me why or why not. Let's start up a conversation.